The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the M RAIDER RAMBLE Show. I am your host, M RAIDER. I am honored to have you guys back once again. We had our first show on Monday. This is our Wednesday show. This is my solo show where I just go by myself. If you guys missed it, I released a schedule on the IG talking about my scheduling stuff. So Wednesdays, we're going to have a show. It's going to be all by myself at 5 o'clock. Saturdays, we're going to have a show with guests. One or more guests. I'm in the woodworks right now with a few guests. I also released some rules that everybody has to abide by to be on the show. So, yeah. But let's get into it, man. We got a packed show today. You know, we're in the Midwest of the boring, very boring part of the off season. But we're going to be talking about a lot. More Derek Carr rumors. This might as well turn into the will Derek Carr get traded, will he not show. Because, I mean, that's really what it's going to be centered around. We're going to be talking about the Raiders' rumored interest in Justin Simmons, who is a star safety for the Denver Broncos. We're going to be talking about a possible backup quarterback coming in to back up over Carr. We're just going to be talking about all kinds of draft and free agency targets. And yeah, it's going to be packed, just as I mentioned. It's basically as advertised around here, people. So I appreciate you guys coming on the show today. I really do. Now, before I get into today's podcast, I want to celebrate a tiny milestone that I hit on the YouTube channel just last night. So I've been doing this thing for 2 years on YouTube, and it's been growing really slowly until now. Well, I hit 50 subscribers on my YouTube channel, so thank you to all. And for this one time, we got to do this. It's only right. Yay! 50 subs. I know some of you guys may not care, but it's a tiny milestone that I had been wanting to hit. It really means a lot because this is something I want to do in my future. So this is just one of the few steps I'm taking. Anyways, that's enough of that. Let's get into the show today. So first off, I want to talk about the Raiders' interest in Denver Broncos safety Justin Simmons. This is reported by our one and only Vic the Fur. You can always trust Vic on any rumors. I like Justin Simmons. You know, he got snubbed with the Pro Bowl last year. He did really good, had like 6 interceptions. This was kind of his breakout year, really. I like his play style. He's more of a hybrid safety. He's definitely going to get paid tons of money. It's going to be interesting to see where. He's tall in stature. I believe he's 6'5". He's got the intangibles to be a really good starting safety in the right system. However, if we do pick up Justin Simmons, that probably means Carl Joseph is on the outs. Which I'm fine with if we get Justin Simmons. Like I said, we're going to have to pay him a lot of money. But I think he'd be an excellent fit. The Raiders are also trying to steal Chris Jones from the Chiefs. And Chris Jones was really one of the Chiefs' Super Bowl heroes. You know, he had like 10 sacks this year. A very stout run stuffer and stopper, if that makes sense. You guys are going to hear me make a lot of isms out here in this show. He was probably the Chiefs' best player until Mahomes got there. Every year he had like 10 sacks, so that's really good. I think that he's also going to get paid the big bucks because he's actually very talented. People don't understand how talented he is. So I'm really interested to see how far he goes here. Like I said, I know the Raiders want to steal him. So, real quick, let me pull up his stats for the last 3 seasons so we can debunk this, as well as Justin Simmons' stats. So, this season, he had 9 sacks, 36 combined tackles, 13 assists. That's almost half of what the Raiders got last year. 2018, he had 19 sacks. He had 40 combined tackles, 5 assisted tackles, and a pick for a defensive tackle. Now, that's how you know they're good, okay? In 2017, he had 32 combined tackles, 10 tackle assists, 6 sacks. And in his rookie year, he had 28 combined tackles, 11 assisted tackles, 2 sacks, and that's it. Overall in his career, he has averaged 136 tackles, 39 assisted tackles, 33 even sacks, and 2 interceptions. That is really good. The Raiders need all boost on the D-line they can get, except my one issue is I feel like we're overloaded at defensive tackle. You know, we got Mo Hurst. We have, sorry, I can't think of his name. Jonathan Hankins, Big Hank. We have PJ Hall, who we're still waiting to come out. I don't know what's going on with PJ Hall. All I can say is we spent a second round pick on him, and that didn't look like it's worth it. We had Quentin Bell, but like I said, we released him. I mean, so we have a ton of defensive tackles. And I believe if we sign Jones, that'll be 8. I just feel like the Raiders are having a really hard time right now trying to debunk who the right mix is on the D-line, aside from Crosby. So, like I said, I would love to get Chris Jones. I would offer him lots of money, and that would be a steal. Now, let's look at Justin Simmons' stats. Like I said, he got snubbed at the Pro Bowl. I really think he should have made it. I really do. I really do. Alright, so in 2019, Justin Simmons had 93 combined tackles, 28 assisted tackles, and 4 interceptions. 2018, he had 97 combined tackles, 26 assisted tackles, and 3 interceptions. 2017, he had 69 combined tackles, 19 assisted tackles, and 1 sack. And in his rookie year in 2016, he also came in the same year that Chris Jones did. He had 30 combined tackles, 5 assisted tackles, and 1 sack and 2 picks. Like I said, him and Jonathan Abram would be a lethal combo. I would love to get Justin Simmons. But could you imagine if we get Justin Simmons, Chris Jones? Oh, whew, that would be scary. That would be scary, even though that wouldn't address their biggest need, which is linebacker on the defensive side of the ball anyway. Offensively, I strongly believe it's receiver. So that would be a steal. That would be a steal. That would be a steal. I would love that. But just like in any other free agency, we're gonna have to wait and see. You know, the Raiders have dollars to spend, but like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. All right, next topic. All right, so now let's talk about our receiver issue, now that we've already finished with the defense. So receiver, you know, Raiders need a number 1 receiver. Tyler Williams just didn't get it done. And I know maybe it was because of, you know, his feet issues, but, you know, he just, quite simply, he didn't pan out his first year with us, which is kind of a shame, really. So there's been a lot of names that come up. There's been, you know, draft options like CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Reagor out of TCU, who I believe is really underrated. You guys should look at his highlights. He is very good. You know, you have free agency options like Robbie Anderson, Emmanuel Sanders, and perhaps the biggest wild card of them all, I don't know if this is a rumor or anything, but apparently Stephon Diggs has been looking to get traded behind the scenes. according to sources around the league. So that in itself is the wild card. Personally, however, I think the Raiders should go after Robbie Anderson and CeeDee Lamb. I like Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson has been overlooked as well. He can get the job done. He has a little bit more speed and precision than what Tyrell Williams has. He's not your complete number one receiver, but he can certainly develop into that. You know, he played on the Jets team and made the most out of it. He came in third place during his rookie season for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now, if we pull up his stats here, the stats will also show you my same thoughts about what I've said about Robbie Anderson. So, if you look at his stats, he's played with the Jets for 2 years. It's crazy to only think he's 26. It felt like he's been in the NFL forever because he's really a common name. So 2018, his rookie year, he had 50 receptions for 702 yards, averaged 15 yards a catch, and had 6 touchdowns. 2019, everybody for whatever reason thought 2019 was going to be a down year, but honestly, statistically, this 2019 season was the best for Robbie, as he had 52 receptions, 779 yards. He averaged 15 yards a catch and had 5 touchdowns. If the Raiders could even pair those 15 yards a catch along with Darren Waller's explosiveness, count me in, man. Because we haven't had that in however long. We haven't had that in forever. We haven't. We haven't. And it's really sad. Especially with all the money we have. Now, Emmanuel Sanders, I don't like very much. Stephon Diggs is the dream target, so I'm not even going to address him. I projected on my Instagram that maybe a 3rd round pick and Gabe Jackson should get it done. I'll get into Gabe Jackson more on Saturday when we do our free agency episode with like the cap casualties and all that. So I don't want to speculate into that too much as of today. So now CeeDee Lamb, I love CeeDee Lamb. He is your complete package at receiver. He's quick. He's fast. He's 6 feet. He averages 20 yards a catch. You know, he has good precision. His route running skills are out of this universe. Let me tell you that. You know, he comes back for the catches. He's your whole complete number one receiver. And him, Tyrell, Carr, and Waller, along with Jacobs, would be a lethal combo. Now, the only knock on CeeDee Lamb is, okay, I don't think he's going to be that number 12, which is why I think the Raiders should also look at Alabama's Henry Ruggs. The same stuff could be said about Henry Ruggs in the fact that he's quick, he's good size. His route running is not very good. He's more of a possession receiver than a big target, go-get-it receiver, you know? CD can make those spectacular catches. Henry Ruggs doesn't have the same abilities, but they're both still equally good, and they're both still number one options, especially for a Raiders team who has been lacking a receiver for ages. You know? So, I would like that. Personally, I want Henry Ruggs, I want CeeDee Lamb, but I think our backup plan here should be Henry Ruggs, if anything possible. Now, we're going to talk about the topic that everybody has been waiting for. This is what you guys have came for when I first started the show, and I know it too. So, with every offseason comes Derek Carr rumors, obviously. I mean, when don't we get enough of those, right, guys? You know? But there's been rumors going around saying that teams are sensing at an opportunity to trade for Raiders quarterback, Derek Carr. Now, for those of you who have followed my YouTube journey for quite some time, you guys know I am fond of Derek Carr. And here's why. A lot of these Raider fans, or Raider biased, or Raider bandwagons, have really, really underappreciated Carr since the moment he came out in 2014. Okay? Nobody seems to think about the struggles the putridness and just the overall buffoonery the Raiders have gone about for quarterback before Derek Carr came under center. Okay. Derek Carr has been better than anything we've had for the last 15 years. Other than Rich Gannon, in this current era, I cannot name a better quarterback for the Raiders than Derek Carr. Okay. Derek Carr averages, oh my God, he averages 400 yards per season. That being said, everybody forgets to think about the struggles he's been through. Derek Carr has never had a number one receiver. Amari Cooper was a snake. Antonio Brown was a clown. Jacoby Jones was old and rusty when he came through. Tyler Williams had feet issues this year. So really, when it comes down to it, throughout the whole course of the last 8 years, Carr's really only number one option has been Michael Crabtree. And honestly, you could have told me that Michael Crabtree should have been number one from the start. Because Michael Crabtree was that complete receiver. And quite strangely, guess who Carr had when he had his best season in 16? Michael Crabtree. I wonder why. Nobody seems to understand that Derek Carr is at least serviceable. Derek Carr can get the job done. Derek Carr is worth the second-round pick that we drafted him for back in 2014. Derek Carr is not a two-dimensional quarterback, but can get the job done when asked. You know, he may not be Mahomes. That's fine. Nobody will ever be Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes is in a world of his own, quite frankly. But people out there who are listening to this right now need to understand. Carr's serviceable. Carr can get it done. Carr's had 4,000 yards passing. Carr works in any system. Also, I've also heard from multiple people, he throws dink and dunk. You know, he had a 70.4 completion percentage rating this year. But that's because, and most people don't take time to think about this, but that's because John Gruden's offensive system is the West Coast system. And the main components of the West Coast system are to dink and dunk, essentially. Usually, in these West Coast systems, you don't see the quarterback going for 20-yard completions consistently. You see more of a dink and dunk, slant routes, little chunk gains, and a complete package at running back, which the Raiders are very lucky to have in Josh Jacobs. So, it's more ground and pound and dink and dunk. And that's why Derek's been doing that. If Derek was in any other system, keep in mind now, he was in the spread system at Fresno. Okay? If Derek Carr was in any other system, I think he'd be good. I think he'd be better, and I think he could show more potential than what he is right now with the Raiders. And honestly, because we haven't seen him on any other team, I really think the Raider fans are blinded by the facts. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, I strongly don't agree with the rumors saying we should get rid of Derek Carr. Thank you, everyone. Now, shortly here, I will bring up some options that the Raiders could.
And working Radio Row.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yep.
Maybe I should play that. Yeah. Let me see. I don't know if this is worth hearing. Okay, maybe this is worth hearing. Let's actually play this.
Here today.
This is
yes, sir.
Tim Brown.
And what are we promoting here? What do we got?
Level select CBD.
Oh.
So they have different levels. They got 1, 2, 3 levels.
Okay.
You can go to select my level and figure out if you're 1, 2, or 3. I'm a 2.
Okay.
You know, but the reason why I'm with this, doing this is these guys are trying to do things the right way. They own their own farm, so they're able to make sure the products are super clean. And for me, that was, I've always been known for being a super clean guy.
Yeah.
I never, partook or whatever the word is on the other side.
I think Tim Brown is kind of trying to promote himself here. Let me see if I can get to the good part.
Incredible stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy like what they're doing. With
It's unreal. Yeah.
Leaf and all these things.
And, you know, for
I don't know if this is actually worth watching. My bad, guys. But like I said, if the Raiders were to give it a car, however, there are a lot of options, and this is one heck of a year to need a QB. Not quite frankly, right? Quite frankly, like I said, this is one heck of a year to need a quarterback, right? So, you know, we could go free agency options. I don't really like any of the free agency options, and everybody's saying we should get Brady. No. That's all I gotta say. You know, there was a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids going on at my school telling me the Raiders are gonna get rid of Derek Carr. You know what I do? I do that. I don't say a word. And why that is because there's no need to debunk. Especially when most of these, you know, bandwagons or biased people are saying Raiders are going to get 43-year-old Tom Brady on a 2-year, $60 million deal. Ooh. No, we don't need to. No. There is no reason why we should get him. If anything, I'd rather take Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is only 26, okay? He has better mobility than Carr, okay? You know, I mean, I don't know if it's much of an upgrade, but you know how Green feels about new players. I would even prefer Marcus Mariota. And speaking of Marcus Mariota, there's also a rumor going around now that most in the organization believe that Carr will not be gone, but that Mariota will be our backup. If Mariota is our backup, I will love that. It'll be somebody to scare Carr. It'll be somebody to get himself back on the right foot. Somebody to make him look like a second overall pick, quite frankly, because he was terrible with the Titans. And now people are saying the favorites to land Tom Brady are Tennessee, quite frankly. Surprisingly, you know, what a coincidence. But anyways, if there's one quarterback I want the Raiders to go after, let's just say we give it a Carr, right? Let's just say we trade him for like a second-round pick or something, right? Okay. I would like the Raiders to go after a drafty. Now, essentially, and you know, most likely, the top quarterbacks such as Herbert, Burrow, Tua, and all those other good guys will be gone. If the Raiders get rid of Derek Carr, the quarterback I would love to have to succeed him is Jordan Love of Utah State. The guy has mobility. The guy is a good quarterback, great pocket passer. Plays in cold weather games. You know, that's something that Derek struggles at. Excuse me. And I think he'd be a good upgrade over Carr if we actually get rid of Carr. You know, and I feel like he would fit good in Gruden's system. And here's the one big thing, and I know this is gonna turn a lot of these. I don't feel like I want to say this really bad, but I know this is gonna turn a lot of Raider fans on, right? But here's the one thing that I love about Jordan Love. He's not afraid to go deep. According to multiple scouts, actually, Jordan Love goes deep and tries too hard, way too much. Then he sits back in the pockets and reads his progressions. And I mean, if that's the case, we can get a few of those passes to shake and go our way. And that's great. So yeah, like I said, if there's one quarterback I would love for the Raiders to draft, it's going to be Jordan Love. It's going to be Jordan Love. Now, to finish off the topic on Carr today, I actually got a direct message from a follower of mine on the IG, and I actually want to talk about it. I'm not going to say her name because she probably doesn't watch this, but, you know, I posted yesterday on the IG the little thing that I saw of Derek Carr rumors of him. I was trying to trade him or whatever. So this lady responded with, "I believe in Carr. I really hope he doesn't get traded. He's my second favorite quarterback." And I responded with, That is my same thoughts. He is so underappreciated by some of these fans. So she responds with, I've been a Raider fan my whole life. Derek Carr, Rich Gannon are the only quarterbacks that I've ever liked other than Derek. I feel like it's, excuse my language, but she said, I feel like it's a damn shame how Raider Nation has dragged his name through the mud. Like I said, I really hope he doesn't get traded. I will still be here if, and even if he does get traded. I believe the man has the right weapons and people he can take the Raiders to the Super Bowl. And that echoes my statements, you know? Derek has lacked the number one receiver forever. Get him one. That's all I'm going to finish off with. Wow, surprisingly, I actually have a rumor to drop right now on you guys as I'm sitting here. So the rumor is the Raiders will pursue Rams linebacker Corey Littleton if he does hit free agency, which is highly likely. Littleton has had no talks with the Rams on an extension. Littleton will cost a good amount of money, but he is highly worth it as being one of the best pass coverage linebackers in the NFL. And I believe that. Corey Littleton is another overlooked guy. A lot of these free agents this year are really overlooked, really. So, you know, I really like Corey Littleton, and he's the one linebacker I would love the Raiders to go after if they can't go after anybody else. Now, I do think, here's my early thoughts on the draft, okay? I think the Raiders draft CeeDee Lamb. They get lucky and draft CeeDee Lamb at pick number 12, and then they go ahead and draft Kenneth Murray, linebacker at Oklahoma, at number 19. Alright, everybody, so now in other news, I feel like this pertains to the NFL a lot, so I'm just going to say it. I think every other NFL fan would also put this in the podcast if they had one. But today the NFL announced that the playoff structure will change under the new CBA. For you guys that don't know what the CBA is, that is the collective bargaining agreement. So, what they're saying is the playoff structure is about to change. Under the current CBA proposal, nothing's official. Under the current CBA proposal, 7 teams from each conference will make the playoffs, and only one bye per conference, per Adam Schefter. Why that's different is because each year only 6 teams made the playoffs. Next year, there will be 7 teams in the playoffs. I don't know whose idea this was, but Goodell, if that was yours, oh golly, did you make a good move, man. If Goodell made this one up, if Goodell thought of this, this has to be the best move he's made as commissioner. You know, 7 teams in the playoffs, that's so much more exciting than 6. 2 more teams get to be in the playoffs now. Like, could you imagine how exciting that's going to be to watch? Like, I'm excited. So they're saying that the new format is going to be, first seed has a bye, 2 versus 7 seed, 3 versus 6 seed, and 4 versus 5th seed. Lowest seed winner plays one of the divisional. So, the 7th seed would then play the 1 seed in the divisional round. Now, that sounds like a good one to me. I love this new playoff format. I'm excited to see what it can bring, man. Now, 2 lucky teams get to make it in. So now, really, all you need is 8 wins. I mean, the NFL is just trying to help out these terrible teams. What I'm basically saying is, if this new playoff format would have been around last year, the Raiders would have just barely snuck in as the 7th seed. I'm going to let that marinate. That's crazy, isn't it? Wow. So, yep. I'm really excited to see what this new format brings. It's going to be even more football, and it's going to be fun to watch, man. I really want to see what the NFL can do, can base it off of, and what they can make out of this new 7th seed. So, that should be fun. I'm excited to see personally what they're going to do. I like having more teams in the playoffs. It's fun, you know? Alright, so, a new segment to close off the show. This is a new segment, so I don't know if I'm going to have any. It doesn't look like I'm going to have any either. But typically, we're going to have followers ask us questions about the Raiders, and I'm going to answer them on the pod. So, I'll come to you guys with that in a few minutes. But traditionally, this is something we'll be doing after every show, or towards the end of every show. So technically, you can call it the M Raider mailbag. Have your questions answered with M Raider. Alright guys, we got a question here from Raiders Empire _ says, any free agents in mind? And really, you're going to have to go back and rewind the show. But I'll list my top 5, sure. So my number one free agency target for the Raiders is Corey Littleton. The linebacker's in need. Very speedy and shifty, linebacker, like I've just mentioned. He's worth every penny. He's overlooked. I would love to have him. Number 2, Robbie Anderson. Like I said, he'd be a good number 1 receiver. I would love to have him on the team. Number 3, Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons and Jonathan Abram. Could you just imagine that, man? Number 4, I'll go with DJ Reader, who also, by the way, was not re-signed by the Texans. So that's one to look out for. And then last one is Marcus Mariota to be a backup to Carr. That'd be a dream scenario. It'd be a good one, too. And alright, Raider Nation, that's all I got time for today. I'm going to end it right there. Thank you all for watching episode 2 of the M Raider Ramble Show. I will be back on Saturday with guest, and we will debunk more into free agency and free agency targets. Once again, this was your host, M Raider, and thank you for watching.